This poor little girl has been vomiting all night long. The owner just changed the food. It's a dry food. The dog didn't appear to like it, but it's been vomiting all night long. And I noticed when it was laying down, it was really bloated in this area. And it's really got a hard feel to its stomach. So when I took an X-ray, this big old thing circle is the stomach. This dog has a partial torsion, a real torsion where it's twisted. She would be in shock. So she's been vomiting all night and feeling badly because her stomach is filled up with air. And if we look at the side view, we can see a big old swollen stomach and curved because the stomach is just like a Bota bag. And actually this portion, the pyloric region, should be down here. So what it looks like now is it looks like a big, well, whatever that looks like to you. But this area is reversed, so it's partially torsed, but because whenever I hear myself start to ramble like that, I thought I better cut this out and put an explanation in with a diaphragm. So a large breed dog will eat a big meal, a big bowl of dry food. Then he'll go with the bowl and drink a whole bunch of water. Gas is released. The esophagus and the pylorus are pinched off, the inflow and outflow tracts. The stomach dilates very rapidly with gas. Then at that point, your dog can act very nervous, upset, pant because they're painful, and have a very hard abdomen that really, if you felt it, it's just like a drum. So you should get those dogs checked out right away by your veterinarian, because this could be a real emergency situation. They can either decompress the stomach, or your dog may need to have go under anesthesia and have surgery immediately to put the stomach in the right place. Because of that, because it's not twisted and the blood supply cut, then she's actually, as you can see, she's doing a lot better than most torsions I see. I mean, so she's walking around and she's in pretty good spirits. However, she doesn't feel good. Can you imagine the bellyache you'd have if you had a stomach that was filled up with that much gas and partially out of place? Go. So when an animal has swelling in the abdomen, often an old dog, it can be due to tumors or leaky organs or heart failure even. But in a torsion, we might even see air come out like that. So I'm pulling out air out of the stomach. So that's not good. That's not the usual thing. We never get that kind of presentation. So what we're going to do is, because this is an older dog and we don't really want to do the torsion surgery, well, it's not that we don't want to, but it's hard on the dog. And the owners just said, no, maybe we shouldn't do that. And I agree. We're going to try to decompress the stomach with the stomach tube. And then we'll see if once the stomach is deflated, maybe it will return to its normal place. So what we're doing is we're going to pass a stomach tube, and you can even do this on a dog that's awake with a piece of tape in their stomach, but we're going to pass it down the throat, and if it can go into the stomach, then we know which it is now. It's in the stomach, and sometimes we can feel or hear the gas come out. So I'm actually pushing on the stomach, and I'm relieving the bloat. And as you look down at the tube, you can see air and liquids coming out. See the bubbles? I'm going to totally drain that stomach. If you totally drain it and get it back into a normal position, it's possibly this little dog won't need surgery. Okay, so now the stomach's completely decompressed. So let me backtrack a little bit again. Dogs will eat a bunch of dry food. They'll drink a whole bunch of water. You'll often see a dog's thirsty after gorging themselves on dry food. That's why it's best to feed them twice a day.
The dry food swells up, gas is released, the stomach dilates, gas can't get out, and it can turn. In this dog's case, it just drank a whole bunch of water, and then the gas was released and dilated, and we got most of the water out. And the gas, you could see how much water we got out along with the gas. Nice thing is the water wasn't bloody. The stomach was not dying because the blood supply was cut off. It was pretty healthy. The dog looked fine the next day after IV fluids and antibiotics, and we'll go home on antibiotics and some antacids for the stomach.
And then here's our little dog now waking up in the cage with IV fluids in the rate. And she's very comfortable. And her abdomen has been, it's not bloated now. So we're hoping that just the mild treatment will make a big difference.
The next day we took an x-ray. You can see right above the little graphic says smaller stomach. See that little black hourglass shaped thing? That's the normal size of a stomach. Remember, it was that big circular thing before. Now you can see the walls of the stomach, they're a little thickened, so that's why we're going to send her home on some antibiotics and antihistamines to help the stomach shrink down and make sure there's no infection, and that she'll stay feeling okay. Hopefully this thickening wasn't due to any tumor, but it came on so suddenly. I think it was just that she had that old overeating dry food, over drinking, and swelling up.
Oh, that's some more in there.
I was palpating, I thought there was something weird in the stomach. I thought, that's weird. It's a mass, it's a tube. It's something weird. And I thought, well, that's a stomach tube. Yeah,
Okay,
so,
good.
So that's good. That's a normal thing. I thought it was a tight ligament at first. Don't tell anybody.
Thought you'd enjoy that little blooper at the end. I was intently feeling to make sure the stomach was back in place, and I didn't feel any tight ligaments, and I felt the stomach tube that I had placed there, and it worried me for a minute until I realized it was the stomach tube I placed there. Pretty funny, huh? Anyway, I hope you got the gist. Gastric, dilatation, torsion, or volvulus can happen when a large breed dog that has a lot of room to move around can eat a whole bunch of dry food at one time. That's why it's best to feed them twice a day, and it's even best to wet the dry food down. If you moisten it, then they won't drink a whole bunch of water, release gas, and their stomach won't pinch off and turn. So it's best to moisten the dry food for real deep-chested dogs like German Shepherds and Irish Wolfhounds and those Borzois. Those that have a real deep skinny chest tend to be the ones that can dilate and tors like this. But heck, even labs can do it. But we don't usually see it in small dogs. So it's best to feed them moistened food. A bunch of dry food at one time is not good. So feed your dog, at least split up the dry food twice a day, smaller amounts. It's even better to moisten it. And even mix it up with some canned food, because canned food has some extra fats and oils. In fact, I feed my dogs a holistic canned food, or I feed them my homemade slow cooked dog food, and I make it about twice a week, and they really enjoy it. So if you want a home cook for your dog, you can go to my website, Dog Dish Diet, and there's 2 books there. One is Feed Your Pet to Avoid the Vet, and it's got a bunch of slow cooking recipes. They're really good for itchy dogs, dogs with ear problems, bladder stones, seizures, and bowel problems. And then Dog Dish Diet is an educational book with a recipe in it that teaches you about dog foods and why it's better to feed some ingredients better than others, especially for dogs with allergies. So if you got them both, it would explain allergies to you and also how to cook for your dogs. And there's some cat recipes in there too if you want to cook for your cats, and some nutritional tips for cats and feed your pet to avoid the vet. Anyway, I hope that was a good video for you, and if you have any questions, you can go over to Dog Dish Diet and shoot me an email. Thanks very much. Have a great day.